What's good, YouTube? It's your boy NativeReacts. I'm excited for today. Tomorrow, Starfield drops for pre-release on September 1st. So today, to tide you over, we're going to be reviewing Starfield 10 Things You Need to Know by Game Ranks. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like and subscribe. Come join the tribe. Alright, let's get into it.
Starfield is releasing real soon. Now, whether it turns out to be good or bad, there's a lot to talk about. There's already a ton of public information out there to analyze, and some you may not have even caught. There's a lot to get to know and get caught up before release, so we've got 10 categories here. Let's get started with number 10. First things first, it cannot be understated just how big this game is seemingly going to be.
I heard over 100 planets.
Now, from all the pre-release information we've heard and seen, it sounds really big. The Bethesda Fallout games were basically confined to a single city and the area around it. The Elder Scrolls games are set in entire countries, but in Starfield, there's no joke, this is from the developers themselves. Obviously, we have to see it to believe it, but they're saying it. Approximately 1,000 planets across
1,000? What?
about 100 solar systems. It's not a full galaxy, but it might as well be. That's an enormous amount of space, and there's going to be a lot to do in most of it. The main quest line is apparently going to be long all by itself. Bethesda estimates it's around 30 to 40 hours, which is way longer than any of their other main game quests. Now, we know that there will be 4 major settlements. New Atlantis, the capital of the United Colonies and the biggest city Bethesda apparently has ever built. Then there's Aquila City, which is the capital of the Freestar Collective, which Bethesda describes as a loose confederation of 3 distinct star systems.
Let me know what faction you're thinking about joining down in the comments.
But let's call them what they are. Sounds like space cowboys. The third city we know about is called Neon. It's a cyberpunk-inspired city of vice, which is a stark contrast to how welcoming and nice the other 2 main cities seemingly are. Now, there's a lot more besides that, and there's going to be a ton of minor settlements, too. We just don't mean like generic shacks in the middle of a planet. These places are apparently still going to be pretty big and elaborate. Just from the trailers, some of these random locations look bigger than most major cities in other Bethesda games. Now, next over at number 9, it shouldn't be a surprise that space travel is a big part of Starfield, but what has constantly surprised us is just how in-depth and complex your specific spaceship can be. This isn't just like a 3D model you look at during loading screens between planets. You can actually pilot your ship somewhat, get into dogfights, travel between systems, scan, and it's all here. Now, of course, the main thing is still the regular on-foot combat that looks very reminiscent of Fallout 4, but in space, things play out very differently. Now, ship customization is a huge feature here, and it looks like it'll be one of the most interesting. The game starts you off with a basic ship, but from there, you can buy pre-built ones or design a ship from scratch yourself. Shipbuilding is entirely modular. You can move and attach parts however you want. Space isn't just a place where you fight and go to planets. You can also hail other ships and engage in acts of piracy, among other things. Also, you're not flying alone. Along with 20 named companions you can get, there are also crew member NPCs you can hire as part of your crew who have unique stats and skills which can augment your own. So if you're not a very good pilot, you can hire an NPC that's an expert pilot to help improve your ship combat abilities. The feature that we're most interested in, of course, as we've said, is the ship customization, though. It looks surprisingly complex, even for a Bethesda game after base building of Fallout 4. So we really want to see if it's as open-ended as it looks in the trailers. Now, next over at number 8, let's talk planets. You know, all those 1,000 or so planets, they're not just there for show. You can actually land on and explore most of them. While you're in planetary orbit, you can scan for resources and select a landing location. Yeah, this isn't Mass Effect 2 where you gather resources from orbit. You can actually land on most planets where you can wander around, find hotspots, scan plant life, deal with hostile aliens, and just explore. Planets look to vary wildly in atmosphere and biomes. Some planets have thick forests, some are frozen wastelands, others are just empty, blasted moons. Now, next over at number 7, here's the real reason you want to check out all these planets. The base building is back from Fallout 4, but it looks much stronger here. On any random planet, you can start building your own base that can be used as a shelter, a place to store items, and also build machines that can mine the planet and generate resources. Your space base needs power to function, so like Fallout 4, this is a more complex system than in many games, but Hopefully the power stuff is a little less fiddly this time. One very cool new feature is that you can go into an isometric view when base building to make it easy to snap parts together. This looks great and should make it so much easier to build the large parts of your base. Just from being able to see it in relation to the environment is a big help. Now, like your ship, NPCs can also be hired here to staff your bases and run them for you, sort of like the settlement system from Fallout. In many ways, the base building looks like a continuation of the ideas in their other games, but it looks like...
I wonder if we connect our bases from planet to planet, like supply lines and all that. That'd be sick.
Next, over at number 6, let's talk factions and quest lines. Now, some of our favorite parts of Skyrim are from the faction quests. They're organizations that you can join that have their own story to play through. They're smaller than the main quest, but bigger and more elaborate than your most random side quests, and completing them usually gets you unique rewards. And it sounds like Starfield is going all in on faction quest lines, because from all the pre-release information we've seen and read and watched, there's going to be a lot of them. There's Constellation, which we're guessing is just the main quest, but then there's also the United Colonies, the Freestar Collective, Ryujin Industries, a corporation on Neon that the devs have confirmed is a faction that you can join, and the Crimson Fleet. Now, the Crimson Fleet sounds especially interesting, as they're a gang of space pirates that are a major enemy group. We're not sure if Bethesda has straight up said that you can join them, but they have revealed that you can infiltrate a faction on the orders from another, and that you can ultimately decide which side to betray, which sounds a lot like you're infiltrating the Crimson Fleet, but that's speculation.
That's not the same. That's like in Fallout 4, when you're the Brotherhood of Steel. You go infiltrate the institution. It's not like you join the institution, you're just doing the Brotherhood of Steel storyline. Alright, let's move on.
For us. The last major faction is currently the most mysterious. These are the guys called the House of Varun, who apparently worship like a snake deity. This one Bethesda has been very tight-lipped about. We have no idea if you can join them or not. That leaves at least 4 major factions we know you can join in this game, which is still a lot. Now over at number 5, for people that bemoaned Fallout 4's simplification of the role-playing elements Bethesda is normally associated with, it looks like Starfield will be addressing many of your complaints. There is, of course, character customization where you can change your appearance, but along with that, you can also give your character optional traits that add to their history. If they have living parents, which can add new wrinkles to your experience and give you additional dialogue options. The voiced main character is out, and Starfield is back to having a silent protagonist. The dialogue wheel is also gone, and it looks like the list is back. We don't know for sure, but we will say that just the presence of a dialogue list is a step in the right direction. There's also a persuasion minigame that's sort of like Oblivion, but it also looks like a lot more clear just from the screenshots that we've seen. This is just from looking at pictures, but it seems like you get multiple options that are green, yellow, and red. Next, over at number 4, Starfield has a skill tree, but it's not quite the same as what we got back in Fallout 4. In this game, there are multiple skill trees: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. Now, many of these skills we've seen so far look like things similar to Fallout, but there's a major wrinkle. You can only unlock the first rank of a skill. If you want to increase its rank, then you need to complete specific challenges. So they've made the skill system a kind of hybrid between Fallout 4 and the Elder Scrolls. Hopefully, like, to level up your speed, you don't have to run and collect 1,000,000 Korok seeds or something. Oh my god. Personally, we do think this might be a good change as long as they pull it off. You know, it was kind of silly how you could just rank up a single skill right from the start in old Bethesda games, like jumping up and down 1,000,000 times if you wanted. It almost made things too easy, so we'll see how it goes here. Now, down at number 3, we did allude to this earlier, but Starfield doesn't force you to be a goody two-shoes space explorer. You can be a full-blown space criminal if you want. That means you can attack civilian vessels, pirate cargo shipments, steal from other ships, even steal entire other ships to add to your fleet. You can also smuggle illegal goods for money. Smuggling can
be Han Solo up in here.
be tough because if you've got illegal goods on your ship like human organs, then your ship is scanned by the authorities and you'll get caught, fined, and possibly thrown into jail. So there's actually a lot to do in Starfield if you want to be more of a bad guy, and we are all for that. Now, down at number 2, this might be their least buggy game yet. Now, take this one with a grain of salt because Bethesda games are pretty well known at this point for launching in a buggy state, but head of Microsoft Game Studios, Matt Booty, has come out and said that if Starfield shipped today, this would have the fewest bugs any Bethesda game has ever shipped with. Yeah, we know. Todd Howard also said that Fallout 76 just works, and that game was a pretty rough mess for a while.
It doesn't just work.
But in this case, we're at the very least just hoping Starfield will be better. We don't think it'll be perfect, but, you know, hopefully it's not a disaster. I know we're probably going to have to eat these words when it finally launches, but we're just hoping for the best. The more games that release in a good state, the better. Now, down to number one, some housekeeping and all that stuff you got to know. Starfield is almost upon us, and the game is releasing September 6th for Xbox Series X and S and PC through the Microsoft Store and Steam. Microsoft is real serious about this one. It's going to be on Game Pass day one, which is big. We've gotten a lot of exclusives on Game Pass before, but nothing as big as Starfield. And like, we're not just talking big in terms of hype, we're talking size. It's 139.84 gigs. So be sure to clear up some space on your hard drive because you're gonna need it. Now, September 6th may be the real release date, but for people who buy the premium edition, you get early access to the game and can start playing it 5 days earlier than everyone else on September 1st. We'll leave it up to you to do the cost-benefit analysis on that one. That's everything you really need to know, everything to get caught up on, but we got a bonus one for you. We wanted to highlight that power at the end of the gameplay deep dive video in that official gameplay deep dive trailer thing. You can look it up on YouTube at 41 minutes, 43 seconds. What was that? It looks like you hold up your hand and cause all the enemies to start floating, or like, are there special powers to unlock in this game? Do you get some kind of space magic as part of the main quest? We don't know what's going on, but it seems like a cool tease and we knew we had to mention it.
Alright, well, hope y'all are as excited as I am. Y'all have a good day. See you on the next one.